Maybe it's a sign of the times, since more anglers are certainly signing up for this new twist in tournaments, but it's the same kind of conversation and laughter as usual, fueled with coffee and energy enhancers for the physical exertion ahead. Wind and rain waiting for them as they make final preparation are just part of the journey.
Fish are already wet anyway.
Maybe it's another sign, but as the light rises and the rain lessens, a rainbow welcomes them to the water.
I've fished my whole life, bank fishing, bass boat fishing, but the kayak will allow you to get to places where a big boat can't, but you can still go where the big boats are.
The Kayak Bass Fishing Tennessee Tournament, held on the South Holston River, is part of the growing number of events that celebrates not just the size and number of fish pulled in, but the lean, streamlined vessel that gets you to them.
I actually fished it last year, and I was fortunate enough to win last year, which was very nice. So this is our second year doing it, and I know a lot of guys are coming at me this year, but hey, that's what it's all about.
I was fishing out of my canoe last year and at the beginning of this year, and I won enough to buy me a nice kayak, so I invested in that, and it's made a huge difference. A lot faster, I can cover a lot more water. It's a lot of fun, it's an awesome sport.
All these new clubs are popping up around the state just because the sport's growing so much. And what's happening is guys don't want to travel so far to fish tournaments, so they say, well, I'm just going to open up a club, say in Clarksville or in Murfreesboro or in Chattanooga, so I can just fish here. And we're all just talking, and we just decided, why don't we have a state championship and just all the clubs compete against each other.
Light and quick mobility is a big reason for the kayak's popularity, anything from the basic to the fully outfitted.
Well, you're going from having $400 or $500 kayaks to guys having the Hobies, which are up to $3,000, and you'll have a $1,000 depth finder.
It's just foot powered. It enables me to use both my hands, and it's kind of a hands-free kayak. You can use the feet to keep it straight. It has a rudder on each side, so mainly one hand is always free to hold a fishing rod, so I can pretty much keep fishing when the wind's still blowing.
And on a day like the day of the tournament, wind is the challenge for a kayak.
Wind is your enemy. You just have to know how to combat it. I mean, I am notorious for dropping an anchor, and I just do it. I do it all the time, especially in the wind. You drop the anchor and you let the wind correct you, but you got to be in the right position so you can fish where you want to.
Conditions were tough. I mean, I caught a couple of fish, but conditions were really tough. The wind, rain. That factors into kayak fishing a lot. You're having to battle two options instead of just one.
But for these anglers and a growing number of others, the benefits of kayak fishing far outweigh the challenges.
I can go and get my cardio in while I'm rowing the kayak and casting. It's just constant exercise. And you can also get up in the little tight spots where bass boats can't really get to. You can go up in the creeks. That's my favorite thing to do, is go way up in the creeks and hit them spots that nobody's been to.
Fishing is a popular activity here in Tennessee and across the country, with around 46 million people participating every year. Right now, only about 4% of those folks like to fish out of kayaks. But as these anglers will tell you, that number is on the rise.
It's not professional fishing. Guys aren't making a lot of money at it, but it's amazing how many guys are coming out to do it.
When you have a tournament in a kayak fishing club, it's more of a group gathering to have friends. It's not, I'm gonna beat you or this, that, and the other. It's not about the money or anything, but it's just a good way to get out and hang out with buddies on the weekend.
As kayak fishing clubs grow in East, West, and Middle Tennessee, their top anglers generally use a point system to qualify for state tournaments like this one.
I think last year 3 or 4 clubs were involved. This year there's 6, and I think we're gonna have maybe even 8 next year. So we could have, 50, 60 people fishing, instead of 40, next year.
It's a gathering of people who not only have a lifelong love of fishing, but also a love for the vessel that allows them to get up close and personal, not only with the fish, but with the outdoors.
You kind of feel like you're part of nature when you're in a kayak, instead of just like someone visiting, like if you're in a big boat. I don't know, being down on the water and having a fish jump up by your head, I just love it.